You know, I don't know why you're laughing already.
I'm laughing because it's great. Round two. How you doing, everybody?
Welcome back to another episode of the New Block Nerds podcast. I'm your host, Chris, aka Prince, with the homie Duran, aka Medic Grizzly. Duran, how we doing, bro?
Solid B. Solid.
You know, I'm so happy that you're excited because I just want to let the listeners know. I've said this on several occasions, but we all know by now that Duran is a contrarian. Okay, don't rebut that. Don't rebut that. Let me finish. Duran, he has a little bit of a disdain is the wrong word, but I feel like he does try to diminish the greatness that is Attack on Titan, and it's only because it's become so popular that everyone likes it. So he's like, well, it ain't that good, and that's just who Duran is, basically in a nutshell. But I'm so very happy that you are caught up because I've been waiting for you to catch up so we could sit down and we could talk about this wonderful, wonderful show that we have.
I don't like how you tell the people and the folks out there that I just go against the green.
I'm just speaking my truth, man. You know?
No. I'm just not a Boy Scout. Yeah, that's
God.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, sure. If that's you know what?
I'm sorry, I got called what it is. But tonight, we're talking about what everyone loves: Attack on Titans. What is Attack on Titans about, Prince?
Well, if the listeners are listening to this video, they should be all the way caught up with Attack on Titan. Because if you're not, you need to get out of here right now because this is not one of those shows you want spoiled because it's amazing. Attack on Titan, extremely briefly, is a story about these people who are living on an island within these castle walls, and they are they're confined to these castle walls because they're being tormented by these giant humanoid monsters called Titans that eat them for sport, apparently. When the story starts, they don't know where they came from or why, but all they know is they're slowly losing more and more space as every now and again Titans will come, destroy some of the walls, come in, completely massacre people. And by the time they're able to fight them off, they have to then build a smaller wall, and then it just, so anyways, the story is pretty much just about these people trying to survive, trying to overcome this existential threat that is the Titans. So Duran, because I don't want to walk the listeners through the whole story here.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, if you guys are listening to this, then you're already fans of Attack on Titan and you're already into it. Coming from someone who, let's just say, is not as into this show as I am.
Gotcha.
How did you feel about this kind of final chapter, part 1, if you will?
Well, I felt that, the story basically it's a story within a story amongst many other stories that are making this giant thing. Like there's everyone that you can see their view and like I can reason with it, but then you can also see like the mirror, like, yo, this is gonna be really bad. So Aaron's prime example. Aaron is a perfect person that, like, in his mind, he believes that everything he's doing is the best thing for the world. And his trauma that he went through that passed on from generations before, to seeing everything when he was a child, to seeing the man savage that he became now, and how like he is just like so narrow-minded about this goal of everyone has to go. There's no way my people are going to be safe unless you all are go, and I don't trust any of you based on what you guys have showed before in the past. It makes you like reason with him, but then at the same time you're like, dude, you're doing the exact same thing that happened to your people, and I don't necessarily understand that how you don't see that. It's the same reason that drives you. You're now doing it to the next generation, and it's like the never-ending cycle. And it's like, dude, like, which side are you on? One episode you're on Aaron's side, next episode you're not. So, and then he has disciples that are just like drinking the Kool-Aid, and everybody wants to go hard with it. And his friends are now like, I can't drink the Kool-Aid with you no more. You have to look at everybody. And seeing the battle amongst once were your allies are now your enemies, and knowing that, okay, I still want my goal, so I'm going to squash all you guys in the meantime. You forget this little kid is now that person. That's a lot of trauma.
Yeah, I mean, you spoke on a lot there. And this is why I love this show so much, is because it's again, it's like you said, allies becoming your enemies, enemies becoming your allies. Alliances changing constantly, and they're literally trying to stave off mass extinction. There's no other way. There's no other way to put it. And it's actually kind of, and this is what makes like a great storytelling, because I'm not gonna be an apologist for a mass murderer in a vacuum, but hold on, because there's a lot to unpack about this.
Which mass murderer are you talking about?
But wait, you almost see where Aaron is coming from, right? Like, he has in his mind that this, what has happened to his people on Parody Island, they will never be safe the way things are currently constructed. And so he has taken the extreme method of, okay, now that I have all this power, this godlike power, I'm going to wipe the slate clean. And then we'll start over, and then we'll see how things shake out then. And it's fucked up, because like, you have his friends, people who have grown up with him, fought with him, watched their comrades die with him. They're now at the point where they're like, fuck, we have to kill this guy. Like, there's no alternative. And I love that, this inner monologue that Aaron has with himself about free will and what makes you free and all this other kind of stuff, because as the founding Titan, he's not like taking away like his friend's powers and stuff like this, like Armin's powers or whatever. He's basically saying, look, I'm on this crash course, and this is what I believe that I have to do. And I don't think I can't help myself. I have to do this. There is no other alternative for me. And if you guys can stop me, cool, then I guess you were meant to stop me. And if you can't, then tough shit for everybody, I guess.
Yo, even like you saying that, and like even think about like poor Armin, like he is like, yo, I'm your guy. This, it's like you and I right now, literally, we split. All right, you got your pod, I got my pod. I'm gonna conquer no matter what, bro. We can do it together. No, I want it all myself. There is no stopping me, and that is all. It's like rage that Aaron has. And then you have other people feeding into the rage. And then Armin's over there like, we were a family. Like, I don't want this. Like, we can make this work. We don't have to do this. So how do you feel about the opening scene? Like, this last was season finale part 3 right now?
Yeah, it's weird. They're like chopping it up into like this big epic. So they're just kind of like building up to it.
So how do you feel about when you see the Titans like walking and then like seeing like the steam and then flame? Like, this is real. Like, it is. I feel like very few like things in fiction can like really capture what an actual apocalypse looks like. Yeah.
Like even down to like, there was a part in the episode where like there's a guy standing in front of all the Titans walking towards him, and he just has a gun and he just shoots himself in the head, because there's no fucking hope, dude. There's no hope. There's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do. And like even the little flashback where, because of course Aaron is kind of like, the way time works with Aaron is like not linear. He can kind of jump back in time and whatever. It's can be confusing at times, but when he's talking to that little kid, and he's like seeing a little kid get like jumped in the alleyway, and he's kind of like having a conflict within himself, like, why did I stop? Why even bother coming over here saying anything like I'm going to save this kid from getting jumped when everyone in this town is fucked anyway? I'm going to kill all of them.
When
the kid included.
When he had that moment, and then you saw how like apologetic it was about, he's like apologizing for what I have to do. I am sorry you are here, but all of you must die for what happened to you. And it's like kind of like the other side of the coin. It started off with his people being basically broken down and breaking down the walls, being invaded, and dying. His mom dying. And then you're seeing that you're doing the exact same thing, bro. And then, hey, by the way, I'm sorry you're getting beat up, but this is like so small compared to what I'm going to do to the rest of you guys. Just as tiny. This is what you guys know that, yeah, take that L, you be okay, get up, shake it off. You're going to die within a matter of time. So, hey.
Yeah, none of it matters. None of it matters. None of it matters. None of it matters. Yeah, that's the thing that's like, and like, it's so funny because the people who were, I'm gonna throw something out to you. The people who are kind of like, you know, well, how can you defend Aaron? Here's what I'll say. If you were one of those people that was like hashtag Killmonger was right, I don't know how you can't now support Aaron, because they're essentially doing the same thing. I mean, need I remind you, in the throne room in the first Black Panther film, you know, Killmonger says the world's going to start over. This time, we're on top. We'll use our weapons to kill our oppressors and their families and anyone else who stands up against us. I mean, is this? I'm paraphrasing, but is that not what he said?
In a nutshell, yes. In a nutshell, you literally okay. So wow, that's so true.
And honestly, we kind of we should have saw this coming. I remember at the end of, was it the last season, when they like finally like made it to the ocean, because they had never seen the ocean before, and
not at all.
You know, everyone else is like, oh man, this is cool, whatever, and Aaron's like, you know, tell me something, guys. If we cross the ocean and we killed all our enemies, do you think we'll finally be free?
And what's freedom?
Right. And that's the thing that's so great between like the differences in how him and Armin are in some ways two sides of the same coin.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because Aaron has such a distorted view of what freedom and free will is, that like, I mean, even when he's talking about doing what he's doing, like it's not even coming from a place of rage anymore. It's almost like he's just like, this is just a force of nature. I'm just a force of nature. Like I can't, this is just fate for me. I have to do this. So, which begs the question, is Aaron even free in Armin's eyes? Because he's the one acting like he can't control himself.
After Aaron's drunk. He's drunk with his own ambition, and he's not going to stop. Like, he's just going to keep drinking. After seeing the whole,
he's already gone way too fucking far.
He's not going to stop. And then seeing like him and his brother, and like his brother wanted to just, I think, if we go back to what his brother wanted to do as far as like just stale everybody off and hey, we're done with the Titans and move on from it, it almost looked the lesser of evil. Like, hey, it could work, but the Aaron's like, no, there's still going to be enemies out there, still humankind. There's still going to be someone's still going to find a way to kill us. So, no, they all have to die. But you're like, he's right. They're like, but darn, you know what that means? Like, you're saying out loud, like, you're really cheering on a destruction of everybody. And then when it's all said and done, you're going to sit on a pile of debris and blood and be like, job done. Is that what you really want? And Aaron's like, dude, no, no, you don't have to do this at all. So I want to side with Armin, but Aaron is, I agree with Aaron. I do. I can't lie. I agree with him.
Yeah, that's the part, and I'm like, I'm almost kind of like trying to shrink down in my chair because it almost makes me feel kind of dirty, but it also kind of doesn't because I'm like, I mean, and that's the thing, right? It's just like if you had all this kind of power, what would you do? I guess no one really knows until they're in that position, right? Like, and like oh man, it's it's a hard thing to juggle, and that's what makes this story so great, right? It's just like you understand where Aaron's coming from, and to your point, like Zeke was was pitching that whole euthanization plan, but to your point, Aaron was like, well, that's not going to work because people are still like our island is still never going to be free. No matter what we do, there's only one way to ensure that we won't get attacked again. Is to make sure there are no fucking attackers.
So, switching the pace a little bit, you are a huge Levi fan. Huge Levi fan.
Oh, yeah, Levi's my guy.
How do you feel about his character from his peak and valleys? Like, how do you feel about him?
Right now? I think oddly enough, Levi is going to be one of those people who lasts all the way through the end.
Which is crazy because he was definitely going ham. And
yeah.
Everyone, like, you couldn't tell him nothing. He was going there. So, knowing that he is like a shell of himself now, physically, do you think he's going to be the new commander when it's all said and done? Like, do you feel like, or do you think Armin's going to survive?
I was going to say,
we're going prediction mode now. We've seen the episode. How many episodes are going to be left? Did they even announce that?
I'm not entirely sure.
So prediction of characters that are still here. Who's next? Who's getting dropped off? Because they dropped off. Oh yeah, got dropped off.
Hanji. And honestly, I had a feeling that Hanji was not long for the world. I mean, to be fair, 85% of the cast has died at this point. So I mean,
well, Hanji was like the heart and soul of the show. In a sense, like he was like the one that had like she saw more in the Titans than what other people seen. She was a scientist. She was the geek of the family. And then seeing her progression goes, and then seeing her go out, like very, very great visual effects. It was amazing.
A literal blaze of glory.
Yeah, that's what it was. It really was. Yeah. So she's out of here now. So who do you have? Like, who's your last man standing when it's all said and done?
I don't know because like. Well, okay. So that's kind of like where I'm like hung up at because I feel like even as bleak as this show has been up until this point, I do feel like eventually Armin and the gang are going to find some kind of way to stop Aaron, right? But there's a part of me that like also kind of secretly wants Aaron to win.
The back closing. Aaron wins. We're out of here. We're done. No, you are sick.
I might be. But it's kind of like that moment in like watching Game of Thrones where I was just like, all right, I just kind of want the White Walkers to win now because everyone sucks. Like there's no redeeming qualities in Westeros. Just let's just wipe it clean and maybe we can start over from scratch. I sound like fucking Thanos, Jesus.
You do.
But assuming that they do find a way to stop Aaron, it's gonna suck because I don't know who's gonna make the killing blow because you have Levi talking about, I'm gonna be the one to kill him with y'all's help, of course, because I'm, I got like 3 fingers left and shit.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it will be Levi or if it's going to be like Armin or Mikasa. I feel like one of them would be. It's got to be one of them 3 if they do Aaron in. It has to be one of them 3. I don't know. Given how like connected Mikasa is to Aaron, I could see her perhaps not making it through, just because I don't know what her life looks like after all of this. To be frank.
She's kind of royalty low in a sense. Like
she kind of is. She kind of is. I mean, Armin is now commander, which I mean, if you look down the list of commanders, they don't last very long.
Like 7 episodes. That's it.
Yeah,
Man, you're done.
I wouldn't exactly be excited about this new post he's gotten.
But if you think about it, like now you go backtrack now that Armin has that post of commander, and then seeing how the original commander was, how he was the choice between Levi had to make on who is he want to survive, and then seeing how the outcome is Armin is now the commander. It's kind of like darn, like that's really he made the right choice, and that sense of it. I have Aaron becoming soft. Tamika, and I feel like he's gonna have a moment where he's gonna realize, hey, I'm wrong, and then Armin's gonna come and do a killing blow. That's what I feel like the end is gonna be.
Wait, you think after all this, Aaron is gonna have a moment of weakness? Yes. Just long enough for someone to land a killing blow?
Well, Meek, I think like she has like I think she'd be the one like that finally gets to him and talks to him, and like he actually goes from this freaking ridiculous Titan form that he is now and becomes somewhat of a. And I think Armin. I think that's what happens. What I want to happen is straight annihilation. Aaron, close scenes. We out of here, coach. Because you always see the good guy win. So seeing how that, maybe I'm just showing the Thanos in me. Maybe we all have that, the Killmonger. But that would be something that we have never really experienced in a anime that I can recall. And knowing that the conclusion was, yo, society sucks. Let's get a reboot. And that is the conclusion of everything. That might make me want to watch it from the beginning.
Yeah, I'm honestly kind of hoping that they have the the gall to do something like that. I don't think they're gonna do it though.
Do you think it's gonna change time? Because like you always mention how time with him is kind of like it's not really there. So do you think a chance of him restarting time again?
I don't know. That's actually a good question. I wonder if it's like one of those things where it's like, again, because he's talking about free will, and it seems like Aaron doesn't really have free will. So maybe it's like one of those time travel situations where it doesn't matter if he goes back in time and tries to reset something. It was always going to end up the way it was going to end up.
Okay.
Which then again, free will, right? Does he have free will? Because if his time jumping ability, so to speak, can't really change the outcome, then did he ever have free will?
The fact of like this is all in one show, and people who are not Attack on Titan fans are probably like, "What are you guys talking about?"
Just watch this show.
Watch this show. What if he goes back to his dad? Like, what if they replay the scene of him going back to his father, but then he chooses different words?
That was okay. Well, I knew Aaron had gone off the deep end before, but that scene with his dad, I was just like, yo, this kid is sick.
He is. He's seen a lot.
I don't know.
He's been through a lot.
I don't know. I don't think it would be cool if they did do some kind of like play with time in the end somehow, to maybe leave some kind of out for Aaron, even if he loses. But I don't know. I don't see it happening. I think Aaron is one of those guys where, because he's so, like you said, he's so narrow focused on doing what he's doing. I think there's only one way out of this. There's only one way out of this. I mean, and look at the history of the show. It's been nothing but bloodshed. It's only going to end with either Armin's team being eradicated and the whole world being eradicated, or Aaron dying. I don't see a scenario in where I just don't see a scenario in where Aaron makes it out of this. I just don't.
And some people, let's rotate a little bit. Do you think, first of all, one of the coolest things ever was Gabby with his sniper. That was freaking phenomenal.
Oh, yeah.
But do you see Gabby becoming the new Aaron?
No, I don't think so. I think because I think, again, it's kind of like we were talking before, allies becoming your enemies, enemies becoming your allies. I think all of them on both sides of the aisle have seen so much bloodshed, and seeing what their hatred of one another has done to someone like Aaron to take it to this point that he's gone extreme beyond extreme, that I don't think any of the people who make it out of this alive are ever going to engage in any kind of violence again. I think they're. I mean, look at Annie. Annie was just basically like, they were like, "Hey, look, are you going to help us come like save the world from for sure destruction?" And she was just like, "No, I'm tired. I can't anymore. I cannot fight anymore. I can't muster up the emotional strength to fucking stand up right now. I can't do it."
And it goes back to her ancestors when she sacrificed herself for the king, and she was like, "You can regenerate yourself." She's like, "No, I'm just tired of it. Just don't want to do it no more." And it just tells you, like, at a point, will Aaron become that? Or will Aaron be just like, I don't want to do this no more, which I think he's going to have that state. And then Armin has a chance. Your boy Levi, he's looked like he's going to have a slow walk to the finish because no one's checking for him anymore. I can see that happening now.
Yeah.
That you said that.
I hope Levi makes it out, man. I don't want Levi to die. I want him to make it out.
Is he the only person you want to really make it out? Like, who else you have a connection with that's left?
I think Armin would be a good post-war commander to help rebuild the world.
Okay.
But I don't know. I feel like what Aaron has done, the destruction that he's caused, it's going to take the quote unquote good guy team. They're going to have to take on some casualties to get this job done.
I'm going to say something.
Everyone's not going to make it.
I'm going to say something that may come off a little cruel. I think what Aaron has accomplished was needed for Armin to have a post-war successful world, because the island was separated and they were basically shunned. They were considered the outcasts. So what you did is you instilled that fear back on the main population, and how, like, hey, you guys did some crimes too. Now that both people have had blood shed on both sides, now it's like we can become one as a community. Unless Aaron went the path he did, that would never have happened. So it was needed.
You know, I agree with you. I agree with you wholeheartedly, and I'm gonna make a little connection to Iron-Blooded Orphans here to that point, because, like you said, I think what Aaron has done is needed for the whole world to get over all this silly hateful shit. Because this is what real hatred will. This is the end game for hatred. Is all of us getting our shit pushed in, right? And like going back to like Iron-Blooded Orphans, I do, as sad as it was for our heroes to end up the way that they did. When you look at what their actions caused and what their actions brought forth, was the single thing that they lived for. That's what they fought their whole lives for, was to realize this particular thing. Unfortunately, they didn't all live to see it to fruition, but I think their sacrifices were necessary for them to realize a better world for their people. And I feel like this is the same kind of thing that's happening right now, where a lot of this destruction is, oh man, it's I'm not gonna say it. Where a lot of this destruction is, it's gonna be justified on both ends.
It's needed. It is, it sounds so bad when you say it.
It sounds so bad out loud, but it's needed. It's needed.
Attack on Titans is if Thanos had the chance to do it over again, but he was the one doing it with more power. That's literally what Attack on Titans reminds me of. Like, yo, I'm not risking nothing else. Everyone must go. There is no compromise. There's no half of this. No, everybody has to go. And just like, all right, bro.
Aaron is Thanos. Yes, Aaron is Thanos.
I got you. And you got the Killmongers. Like, I get it. So this is I'm gonna tune in to finish watching it. I'm gonna watch all of them. We're gonna link back.
You get all excited for Attack on Titan.
I don't start your boy. Don't start. Just calm
It's
down.
okay to be excited about it, man.
I'm excited about Aaron possibly shocking the world and the writers and the production. Like, I did not read the manga. All right, this is straight anime for me.
No, yeah, neither have I.
If they conclude this bad boy with the bad man winning, well, is he really bad? But with that version winning, and that he's done, like, I would probably stamp and clap. I think, but that's just what I am.
Yeah, I don't think it's good. Like the only reason why Infinity War ended the way that it did is because they knew they were gonna do it all over again with Endgame. But
you don't have to do that with this one. You can literally do what you want. It's your book.
You could just roll credits.
Yeah, you roll credits. Everybody's like, yo,
everything's burning.
The most shocking, exhilarating, depressing, fulfilling anime of all time. You want all your emotions in one? You go watch right here. You're going to see people eating people, gaining power. Then you see corruption in the military. Then you see friends become friends who slaughter each other at the very end. And then the one guy who said he hates everyone in society needs to go wins. Yes. Just think about that. That's what you have potentially.
You know, the fact that you're so giddy about that scenario is, you know, I just, you know, I love you, man. I just, you know, I worry about your, you know what I mean? I worry about your emotional health sometimes, you know. Look, I'm not going to sugarcoat it anymore. I'm kind of low key rooting for Aaron too, but you know, I don't want to be giddy about it. You know, I don't want to root for Aaron, but it's like,
why are we doing this podcast? Why was I even watching this show? Because of you, my friend. Because of you.
Because the show is great. Not just because I want Aaron to win.
There's a lot of great shows in the world. We're not talking about every great show. We're watching this show because of you, my friend, and how you love the concept of the show. Great job.
It's honestly fantastic. It's honestly fantastic. I'm super excited to see how this is going to end. I cannot wait. I am going to be on the edge of my seat because that's the beauty of this show. Like, I really don't know how it's going to end. And that's what I've loved about the journey of going through this show, episode through episode, is like, you know, people are going to die. You don't know who. Mm-hmm. You know, there's going to be consequences for everyone's actions. And like, just the twists and turns that this story has had, man, between like the plot twist and some of the reveals about like how the Titans actually function. And it's been a ride. This has been one of my favorite animes in a very, very, very long time, dude.
It's 10 years. Came out in 2013.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, again, we're not doing rankings, but we'll see how this ends. We'll see how this ends.
We're gonna revisit our ranking.
Yeah.
For a couple anime for the future for you guys. Hey, love anime, don't love anime. We're still gonna do us. Demon Slayer when it concludes. Attack on Titan when it concludes. There's some things we got to go back in this ranking system. My Hero when it concludes.
Yeah.
We got to know like will these crack the top 5.
Attack on Titan it's getting there, man. It's getting there. It's getting there. Attack on Titan is like
shocked.
Attack on Titan is like Giannis. It's like already an all-time great, but I can't be like, oh, he's top 5. Now he's on the trajectory to be top 5 for sure. But
you're pissing me off now because you know Giannis is one of my favorite players, and you want to act on Attack on Titans. Don't marry the two. Don't marry the two.
So you're upset that they have similarities.
Giannis is great. Attack on Titans is a question mark right now. Don't do that. Don't do that.
All right, man. All right. Look, man, I want to get you all upset and shit, man. Relax. Well, all right, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us again. I hope you guys are as excited about Attack on Titan and how it ends as we are.
Yeah.
We will definitely be back to review the final episodes when they do drop. So keep an eye out for that. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, let us know your thoughts. If you guys are supporters of Aaron, let us know. I am a proud Jaegerist, so
you actually said that.
Yeah, I said it. And I'm not apologizing for it.
Hey, it's okay.
like I said, I'm just trying to live my truth, man. You know what I mean?
I dig. This is gonna be fun, guys. I can't wait to revisit. This is gonna be fun.
Yeah. Well,
peace and love, everybody.
We'll catch you guys on the next one.